Hey, welcome into another episode from the Critics Collective on the Dad Panther. I'm Ron, and I am going to be giving you a 3-for-1, right? We're going to talk about a book, and we're going to talk about two movies that tried to capture what the book did. All right. Now, what we're going to talk about today is A Wrinkle in Time. This was done in a movie form, kind of like a TV movie in 2003. Then it was done again in 2018, and it comes from a book that I want to think kind of goes alongside of books like Animal Farm, 1984. And so we'll talk about that. Now I'll go into my highs and lows of A Wrinkle in Time of the 2018 edition, and then I'll tell you why I felt differently about the 2003. Right. So with that being said, the idea of this is that after the disappearance of her scientist father, three three beings send Meg, a girl, and her brother and friend through space in order to find him. Um, it's funny because Ted Lasso has a part on the episode where someone's like, I don't know what A Wrinkle of Time is. Even what is that even about? And the reporter comes around, might have been the first season. The reporter comes by and the reporter says something like, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. No, he doesn't. But in the comments, anyways, he says something like, it's about a young girl who learns to discover herself and leadership as she travels through space. And they summed it up better than this movie did. Unfortunately, this movie was directed by Ava DuVernay. She did, I think, the movie on Netflix, the miniseries. I don't even want to say the name of the movie because I can't remember, but she's done work where at the time that this was coming out, this was highly anticipated. Like, people wanted to see this. They were thinking this was an opportunity to get into a deep fantasy movie that was similar to Chronicles of Narnia, The Golden Compass, not Lord of the Rings necessarily, but the conversation was heading that way. And this is before A Wheel in Time. So you want these movies to get that budget and to have those conversations. But the lows for this movie was this does not follow the book. It doesn't follow the book. And so this is how I go into a book review. It's kind of our first little book review. A Wrinkle in Time, this book focuses so much on themes that would make it seem like it's the future, like it's predicting the future in a way. Like if you check out movies like V for Vendetta, if the House of Dynamite, stuff like that, where it's other movie or television or books that kind of play with that idea. In the book, there's some key moments and key stages and character developmental stuff that is just not in this movie. You have the idea of this character, the daughter, is against kind of this 1950s woman thing, and what I mean by that is the idea of a woman should know her place, be in the kitchen, stay at home. She doesn't conform to any of that. She, in the book, in my opinion, is a complete rebel of what the construction of this world is put together. The other thing about it is the cast that she has is just such an interesting cast. The villain is IT. It's only known as IT, capital letters. And fast forward to now, IT, technology, AI, that conversation. Now the cast for this, and it's kind of a good thing, but I'll go on the bad thing. The bad thing about this movie is, the first thing is it's an hour and 50 minutes. It's too long for what they were giving us. I think if it was a shorter movie with better pacing, it would have been better. The diversity hire, and it's crazy that I'm saying that. I'm not saying diversity hire like that's what was happening, but that was the conversation when this movie trailer came out, when it was leading up to going to the box office, and it came out and did what it did for Disney. You had a great looking cast, but they focused so much on the story being she needs to find herself and love herself. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you're coming off of a well-received book, a book that honestly gave a lot of people their, I don't want to say their place or their purpose, but it was a very impactful book if you haven't read it. And this did not follow the story at all. It could have been called something completely different and we wouldn't even be talking about this. It could have been called whatever. It could have been called Interstellar. Not necessarily, but you get what I'm saying. The other thing I would say I would say the positives, right? So the positive for this, the cast. I thought the cast was great. You had Storm Reid doing a great job being young. Reese Witherspoon's Oprah Winfrey, Mindy was in it. Chris Pine is in this as the lead. Michael Pena, Zach Galifianakis. I don't remember how to say his name. You know what I'm talking about. But point blank, you had a really good cast. David, who you saw in Selma. There was a really good cast for this movie. The budget was there. Like they spent some fucking money on this movie. But then the problem of it was, like I said before, you didn't follow, and you spent $100 million on this movie to do $33 million opening weekend and finishing worldwide at $133 million. You barely made. You didn't make anything, to be honest. Okay, so for that, we will go into the rating for this movie. Now, the ratings we do from 0 to 5. 5 being just a really, really, really good movie. Really good movie. Excellent, some will say. And 0 will be horrible. Now, this movie, like I said before, it's the plot doesn't follow the book. The plot is weird. They miss some key elements. Other than 2 or 3 scenes that stand out, nothing really stands out. The young actor, Storm Reid, an amazing job. Great visuals. Sometimes a little too much CG, but this was a bright, colorful looking movie. But unfortunately for me, I'm gonna have to say this is a 1. If you're gonna say Wrinkle in Time, you're gonna spend this money, you're gonna do this cast, you're gonna have this special effects, you have to be able to deliver. And it's so frustrating to watch big companies take IPs and not know what to do with it. This would have been really good had HBO mess with it, had maybe Netflix, Apple would have messed with it. It would have got a different level. And the reason why I say other people or other teams should have it, it would have been marketed different. It would have been put together. Think of The Golden Compass. That movie would have been, it would have been that. Think Emerald City that deals with the Wizard of Oz. Emerald City is on Peacock streaming if you're watching it. Originally, it was on NBC. It was themed as if a family could watch it. It's closer to Game of Thrones. Crazy. And it only went 1 season. And it's really important where you put it. Now, I said I was going to give you a 3. All right. So we talked about the book. All right. So I'm going to review the book. The review is a 5. It's a 5. I guarantee you should watch it. Let's read it and you'll enjoy it. I think there's an audiobook for it. I'm not sure. But the other movie I would say is A Wrinkle in Time, which this one you can really only watch on YouTube. I couldn't find anywhere else. A Wrinkle in Time, this was in 2003. For this movie, the rating that I will give this one, right? If you had an opportunity to watch it, this is 2003. This is a mini series. So you're looking at 4 hours. So each episode about an hour, give or take. I only was able to find it on other websites. That's all I'll say. And for this one, I thought it was an interesting cast. I can't think of anybody that really stood out to me on this cast that made me say, hey, I know that person from something, I guess, big, but there were some people where you'll see them, you're like, I know them. For this one, I'm gonna rate it a 3. If I had to compare the two Wrinkle in Times, I would say it's a 4 based off comparison, but realistically it's a 3. It's average. But if you're looking for A Wrinkle in Time because you watched or you read the book and you're like, I can only pick one, I'm telling you, pick the TV series if you're able to see it. The storyline is like 80% of the plot. And isn't that what you're here for? Isn't that what you're here for? Just like the review. And if you're here for the first time or you've been here before, but you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more here at the Critics Collective. We really appreciate it. Now, you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here with Ron. That's me. My name is Ron. Until next time.